Please record the members present. We do have a quorum. You have the minutes of the August 14th meeting. Are there any corrections or additions?
Mr. Chairman, I would accept the minutes as provided to us.
Motion by Pat to accept the minutes as printed. Is there a second?
Second.
Was that Bruce?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any further discussion? You're right on time, Corey. We're just finishing the minutes. You got any questions on the minutes, Corey? Okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried without dissent. Thank you. Regular meeting of September 11th, 2017. To consider a request to exceed the street side yard fence height of 4 feet to 6 feet. Site located at 2556 7th Street West, Lot 1, Block 3, State 7th Edition. Who is here to speak to that? Is that Tom or you or Lindsay or Luke? Okay. Okay, come on up to the podium. State your name and for the record.
I'm Lindsay Filkowski. I'm one of the homeowners at 2556 7th Street West.
I'm Luke Filkowski. I'm the other homeowner. Did you guys receive the drawings of that we tried to provide for you guys? We propose that we want to stay 63 feet off of 7th Street and 14 feet off the side of States Boulevard, very similar to all the other house corner lots within our area that have been put up current new construction fences.
So the one most similar to us is the one on 23rd Avenue and
7th. They just put theirs up. We want to do exactly what they did. Full 6-foot fence along the side yard. The main reason we want the 6-foot fence along our side yard is our 2 basement bedrooms are on that side of the house. So anyone who's walking down the street can look right into those windows.
Especially at night. I mean, you can see in there pretty clear.
Whenever you have the light on down there. Or else we'll always have our curtains full.
No shades?
We do.
We do, but you want light too. You don't want to be in the dark all the time.
Okay.
Also, we have a 2-year-old son. A 4-foot fence isn't very tall to keep a kid in. He likes to climb, and he's only 2, but by the time he's 4, a 4-foot fence really isn't going to accomplish a whole lot. That is our main reason why we want the 6-foot fence, is just to be very similar to everybody around us and for the safety of our son.
And then also, we came in for a meeting. Leonard, we scheduled it with him, but he wasn't able to make it. So we met with Jim Thorpe that day, and he was talking about some vision clearance zones, about 30 feet. So we did measure those off of the sidewalk.
From the adjacent duplex to the north of us, it's 36 feet from their driveway to their property line.
To our property
To our
line,
property
where we
line.
want to start the fence.
So the visual will be 36 feet from,
Her driveway,
her
the start
driveway.
of her driveway, closest to us.
yep, it won't affect anything with that.
So,
Do we want to go to this or not?
well, and, because we were looking at
We were
the
trying to
municipal
find the
code
municipal code.
to see what he was actually talking about when he was talking to us.
And,
Um,
and underneath the visual clearance zoning, it says no, let's see, where does it say? Lines of street and alleyway which intersects our driveways backing into public streets and line connecting from point of which of such lines 30 feet from point of intersection. So the way I read that is it's where the driveway meets the street and over. So if we're outside of 30 feet, we should be fine according to how I read this municipal code. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I have no problem with that, but
But yeah, for safety wise, I mean, there's other ones, like the corner of 8th Street and States Boulevard. I mean, they're only a couple feet off their sidewalk, but I'm sure they're set for far enough back from States Boulevard that it didn't really make a difference for their vision clearance zone onto 8th Street there, so.
Tom, you want to come up?
Are you
Are you-
talking about on the north side of that duplex?
No,
I'm
it's
Tom
on-
Kunz, Kunz Builders.
We're
We're
talking
talking
about
about nothing about
Deidre
Okay.
Coates.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Eighth and, State.
Yeah,
Which
she's
is
on
also
8th.
on Deidre's.
Yeah, 8th and State.
She
Oh.
has a 6-foot fence on that.
Deidre got, I think she got a variance on that. But hers only goes to the corner of the house.
We
And
only
the-
want to go to the corner of our house.
But there's
too.
no driveway
Yeah,
coming out.
Right.
Okay.
that's-
We-
Driveway is the only thing that
But
concerns us.
Our,
Okay.
our driveway is, we're talking about this visual clearance that's stated in your municipal code, is that we have to be 30 feet away from intersection. Unless I'm wrong.
Nope, I'll clear this up. As depicted on your diagram, the 30-foot out, the triangle they have depicted on their site plan meets the municipal code. That's the understanding. That is correct.
That
So-
is correct.
Yeah.
How we drew it on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're meeting code by we're not breaking a code by having a 6-foot fence for visual purposes. We're not breaking a code. So what we're doing is a lenience, which is just doing the 6-foot side yard fence, which everybody else in our neighborhood has.
Okay, anything else, Scott?
Do you guys have any questions for us?
Yes, we probably do.
I've got a question.
Yes, please.
So to the north of you, there's an existing fence, a white fence?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, on the drawing here, it shows that there's a new fence along the sidewalk and a new fence on the north side of your property. Excuse me. Are you planning to put another fence on the north side or meeting up against this one? Have you,
It all depends on how you guys rule. There's a.
well, I'm wondering, have you talked to the neighbor? Because I noticed that the fence, as it comes to the sidewalk, it steps down
Yep.
to 4 feet.
Right,
So-
and if we could connect into there and keep it the same
And
level,
get up
so
to
we
6
would,
foot at the corner, we would tie into it, yes. But
yes.
if
But
So
if-
have you talked to the neighbor and gotten, I mean,
what they proposed was us to do a 45-degree angle, and so that we were 30 feet off of her property line, which didn't make any sense to me. So we would have been 60 feet off of her driveway. That's what they proposed to us, was to cut our backyard, a triangle out of our backyard, outside of our fence, which we didn't like. That's why we
So, yeah,
are
where
here.
we would connect to their fence off of theirs, it would have a 45-degree angle.
we did not like
And to
that.
connect into our new fence onto the side yard, the west fence on the
Yep.
side yard, so.
okay, so my question is, you've talked to the neighbor and
That's
are
the
they
only thing
okay
they
with
proposed.
this fence?
No,
And tying
like-
into theirs? I mean, I'm just,
We have
Ask-
not discussed that yet, because they would just proposed the angle to us when we talked to them.
And if we weren't gonna be allowed to have a 6-foot side yard fence, it was kind of a moot point.
okay.
But I'm not opposed to putting up a double fence. If that's what it comes to, I could run a 6-foot fence all the way and just do a double fence too, if you guys don't like that either. We're open to options that are within city code.
I guess I'm not clear. So you've talked to the neighbor and the neighbor's okay with you putting the fence up as long as you go at a 45-degree angle?
Yep,
Yep,
At that corner?
Yep.
that
Okay.
is what they agreed to, yes.
yes. That's what they proposed, and we didn't like that option. But if that's our lone option, we'll discuss it more between us, and if we will do it or not.
Other questions? Okay. And of course, this would be the same color fence, and everything, a white fence.
Ours, that we were gonna do a
We would do
tan, like a
tan to match
khaki.
our house, because it's our fence, but if it has to be white, we'll do it white, but we would prefer to be tan to match our house, since it's gonna be on our property. But if you guys rule it has to be white, it has to be white. I'm fine with that too, but I would prefer it to be tan to match our
Okay.
house.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against, for it?
Thank you.
Again, Tom Kunz with Kunz Builders, and this is,
My name is Luella Hendricks. I just moved into the twin home at 2592 States Boulevard. I do want to get along with my neighbors. I just moved in a couple days. And, but I want to have visual when I back out, so I don't back over a tile or something. You never know who's walking down the street, but I want a clearer view to where I can back out to see what's coming.
So you would agree with the angle?
I
If
believe
they
Tom
put
and
the
I
fence-
talked about it, yes.
Tom,
Question, Larry. Leonard, now, and when you were clarifying that for the Filkowskis, you said that 30 starts at the edge of the driveway?
Right at the edge of the driveway of the property that you're in support of.
Okay,
Right.
so,
As it's depicted on their drawing, that's actually exactly what, if we went out into the field, this is what we would do. We'd start at the curb side from her driveway, we'd walk south and put a point, and then we'd actually go back toward the structure and then create that.
okay, so you'd start 30 feet from the property line,
Not from the
Walk.
property line, from the driveway,
from the driveway.
correct,
From her driveway, you'd go south 30 feet.
30 feet.
That's the
Okay.
edge of the driveway.
The edge of the driveway, actually the curb and the driveway.
Okay.
That would be our starting point. We'd go to the east and to the south, and then connect.
How far back is that fence from the curb, the property line?
It's right to the property line now. Oh, the one that's there now?
Okay, yeah.
The one that's there now is right to the property line, but that's 3 foot high. So you're saying the code right now says they can do a 4-foot fence up to that point?
To the property line, street side yard is a 4-foot maximum height. They want 6 foot.
Okay. Okay. So they basically could continue her fence at 4 feet, if the 30 feet falls in place. They could continue the Luella's white fence 4 foot high to the corner, or to the 14 foot that you're proposing. And then they could go 4 foot for ways and then go up to 6.
With the board's approval.
Okay. Well, I think you'd be all right with the 4 foot high, because the code right now says 4 foot, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Rather than 6.
yeah, so you'd gain about a foot.
Well, if there's 36 feet there, is there a view problem?
Based on the triangle in our code, I would say no.
We're within our
Code.
approved code then.
Correct.
But the code would be 4 foot high.
Right. It's two different things here. The vision needs to be out because they meet our code on the
Okay.
vision. We're strictly talking about height now. Filkowski's want 6 foot. That's what they're requesting. Our code says 4 foot.
So the only thing we are really concerned about is if we give them permission to build a 6-foot fence along the
Correct.
street side.
And in the neighborhood, there is different circumstances with this. A lot of the homes that you've granted variance for, the homes on these corners, the houses face actually either north and south. So they match up. They're both a street side yard. In this, we have a front yard and we have a street side yard. That's the difference here as far as the other fences in the neighborhood. It's a lot easier if we have houses facing opposite directions.
Mhm. Okay,
Hey, could I make a proposal? Now that that's clear in my mind, I was thinking that it was 30 feet from the curb on the property line, then 30 feet this way.
Right.
So, okay, I was wrong there. So I think I could convince Luella if, right where her fence is 6 foot now on her side, you know, because her side is lower, Filkowski's it's 5 foot. If we took that at that point and we dropped it down because it drops towards the street, and we dropped that to 5 feet it's a foot more than code and a foot less than what they're proposing, then they turn the corner and they take off going south, and as they get closer to their house where they're talking about the visibility and the windows, it would be 6 foot, because that lot drops that way just a little bit. So we would have a 4-foot fence coming on the wells that would turn into a 5-foot, then it would turn at 5 foot, and as it gets closer to their house, it would be 6 foot. And just that way, and it should be white to match hers. And then we would take care of building that fence up to, we would take care of that. It wouldn't be a cost to you. We'd take care of building that fence up to, instead of 4 foot, we'd go 5 foot, but we'd have to drop it right to the gate, because at that point it's 6. So it would be kind of a compromise. It'd be a foot more than she wants and a foot less than what they want. Follow what I'm saying?
I would ask that the Falcowskis come up and actually comment on that. One other thing, I did get, my office, I was out of the office, but we did get 3 calls in actually opposition to it. I don't know that any of those people are here. Just for that, one other thing I want to say, stating a color of a fence is, I don't know that that would be something for the board to actually vote on, because for me to enforce that in the future with different owners is going to be impossible, and I don't even want to think about doing something like that. So as far as the color, I'd leave it up to the neighbor to decide on what they want.
Okay, so then, when constructed then. So, with that being said, Leonard, I agree with you 100%. But she would be in charge of taking care of the white fence on her property. They want to tie in the sandstone, that's their business.
Yeah.
All right?
Say, Larry, I've got a question.
Question?
It's a question for Len. So you said you had some, okay.
What's a hammer? Jackhammer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna see if they can wait like.
Contractor stuff.
It's gonna be a miserable day at City Hall.
Thanks, Leonard. Wait just a minute so we can hear.
I thought you were gonna shut them down, Leonard.
Well, I asked
see how
staff to
much
go around there,
influence you
blocked
have.
off right there, so they
Oh.
could cover the windows.
Okay, okay, Bruce.
Well, my question is that you had some phone calls opposed to it. What were their comments? Why were they opposed to it?
Just mainly on the height, as far as, I talked to one gentleman, but I didn't talk to the other ones. They just said they're opposed to the height. They don't want all these fences like this in the neighborhood.
Okay,
It was a general, comment.
okay.
And I think to back that up, I believe, I know the gentleman that, he stopped to see me too. He drives up and down State Boulevard and the front yards are open. You know, I know that you brought up a couple fences that are like on 7th and 8th, but I think on State Boulevard, everything is pretty much 3 foot or 4 foot. There's nothing 6 foot. And he just thought it looks good to have it open. You can see the trees and the fences aren't blocking it. And he sees it because he picks up his mail. And he got a letter, so he was like, he was wondering what's going on there, and I explained it to him. But I didn't realize he had called, so.
comments? No? Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Lindsay or Luke?
Well, I guess I do have a comment. So I think one of our neighbors did receive a letter and she came and talked to us. She thought, when she read the letter, that we were bringing the 6-foot fence all the way to the front yard.
To
which
7th
is
and States
7th
Boulevard.
and States Boulevard.
We're not going in our front yard. We
And-
want to close off our side yard.
And so she was concerned about that because, she has kids that ride bike, and if you're getting the intersection of 7th and States Boulevard and we brought it all the way to the front, then it was a vision thing for her. But we kind of talked to her and cleared up, we didn't want to start it that far front, and then she was okay with it. So I don't know if that's one of the calls you may have received.
And then
but-
Tom brought up that along States Boulevard, no fences are higher. There was a house that Tom just built a year ago that has a retaining wall and then a 4-foot fence. That fence ends up being about 7 feet, 8 feet in the air. That's on States Boulevard, so.
And
I
that
don't
one
like
did
that
have a
excuse.
variance to it, so.
That did have.
Yep, but the point he was bringing up was saying there was none along that way. Our house is exactly like that. Our fence will actually be lower than that fence.
Other questions?
I guess I've got one more question. So, to approve this, or to deny it, to approve it, we have a compromise presented, and also there was a 45-degree angle presented. So are we, to make this decision, are we supposed to include a compromise of some kind? Do we have that?
What I'm looking at here is either you approve the 6-foot or you make it 4-foot. Even the compromise as far as the adjustment of the fence to 10 years from now, whether these are the property owners or not, somebody's gonna change a fence. For us to enforce an angle, I believe you need to do the 6-foot. It's up to the board whether or not you do the gradual. That happens a lot, but if that changes in the future, for us to go back and write up somebody because they changed the angle on the fence, it's just gonna be difficult to do that. I believe the board, as far as it recommend for that 6-foot or keep that 4-foot.
I think I agree with that, Leonard. We should just go with a 4 or a 6. And that would be up to if they dropped it from the existing fence.
That would be up to the property owners who are requesting the variance.
So I think we were just concerned with giving them permission to put a 6-foot fence.
Correct.
Any other comment?
Well, we've had a few of these just in the area, and we've been consistent with, if it does not impede the site distance, we have allowed them. I think it's been like 4 or 5 in the last 4 or 5 months, right?
Correct.
I guess my thoughts, it'd be hard to say no if it meets the vision
Especially on the side street.
on the side street, right?
And then on the other hand, we've never had anybody opposed to it.
Oppose it, but
Right.
And again, it comes down to understanding. We do have a property owner here, but the other property owners that called in are not here. Whether or not they truly understand
what's
I mean,
the scope of the project?
correct.
It just looks consistent to what we have approved in the recent months here, but.
Thanks, Bruce. Any other comments or questions? Okay, we're ready. Oh, Tom.
Okay, I understand which direction this is going, and if we're not gonna do the angle, which it doesn't interfere with the visibility, I feel I have to somewhat protect the homeowner that we just built that for. He just spent his money on the fence. Now, you're not gonna control the color, Now, if you were her and you had a fence there, and somebody comes along and puts up a 6-foot fence right next to it, what's that gonna do to the value of her property? And what's that gonna look like? So, if you're gonna approve the 6 foot, have her do her 6 foot, so her fence doesn't change, and then they take off from the corner. Don't allow them to put another fence inside of this fence.
Right.
I mean,
I would agree with that.
I mean, they're gonna have their 6 foot. They have a white fence to the east of them that we put up, and at the time, they didn't wanna put any money into it because they didn't have the money. So we made it white to match that house. And then there's a story that goes with this too. And I agreed to put the fence up if they let us use their property until we had it built. When I had Leonard over there, he said I can only go 6 foot. And the 6 foot was from my sidewalk to the top of the fence. So now they're gonna put up a fence, and there's gonna be a foot of brown or sand tone sticking above her fence. So again, what I'm proposing, that fence stays the way it is. We keep that height all the way to the corner. By the time we get to the corner, it's gonna be 5.5, 6 foot. They take off from that corner with their sand tone fence or whatever they wanna do, but we can't. I mean, I know it's their property, but at the same time, if you're gonna change it from 4 foot to 6 foot, protect her also.
Right. I agree. It doesn't have to be a foot up or, above, and don't wanna see 2 fences alongside, and then she sees both.
But when we leave here today, and if you approve the 6 foot,
What
that's
does she have right now?
she's got a white 5 foot on their side and 6 foot on her side. Because there's a retaining, it sets on top of a retaining wall. So if you approve the 6 foot, they're gonna put up a fence right next to the white fence, and it's gonna be a foot.
I guess my concern was just the street right now.
Right.
I wasn't thinking.
But I'm saying we
backyard.
have to address it at the same
Right,
time.
yeah.
But once you approve it, it's approved.
Well, I think just listening to Lindsay and Luke, that they would be agreeable to
I agree with him. Nobody wants to see 2 fences back there. I mean, we don't, and we would be okay leaving that 5 foot and connecting into it as long as,
Because it drops basically a foot from that 5 foot to the curb, probably drops a foot, so we should be able to get 6 foot down to the curb, and then we'll just tie in a 6 foot fence off. We're fine with that. But it was
You're
more of a
fine
process.
with having the white fence to the.
That whole
north.
backyard, yes.
yeah, we're
As long
fine
as
with,
it
yeah.
can all tie in, yes, I'm okay with that. It was more all this issues trying to just come up with a resolution.
You have a comment?
Yeah, it was it would look funny tying into a staggering fence if you start a 6 foot on the 4 foot fence is what
Yeah.
we were concerned about, so,
Okay.
thanks.
But that could be in this particular variance, that could be in the motion
To match up with.
to match up the white fence on the neighbor's yard. To the corner. Okay. Okay, anything else? All right, do we have a motion to deny or grant the variance? Any motion, gentlemen?
I move to approve the variance as long as, with the condition that they work with the existing fence that's there and make it, I don't know if you can say it,
Okay, so.
height, within the height.
You move to approve the variance with the request
Tie
to
in
tie in.
to the
Is there a
existing
number on
fence.
that one that we have to have?
39.12.011C1.
Okay, very good.
I'll second that motion.
Second by Pat. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Corey?
Aye.
Pat?
Aye.
Trevor?
Aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
I'll vote aye. Build a nice looking fence. I know you will, Tom.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming.
One other thing.
Yes, go ahead.
I'll have you fill out another application for a fence permit.
Okay.
Just talk to Terry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your guys' time.
Thank you for coming. Anything else to come before the board? If not, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Trevor,
I second.
second by Pat. We are adjourned. Thanks, guys and gals.